What is up, everyone? Welcome to the FAA podcast. We are 3 days away from the 2025 NFL draft in Green Bay. Love draft week. Got to make sure I watch draft day. Hopefully Wednesday night after our complete and only first round mock of draft season. We'll have a couple guys on for that. We'll have a whole host of guys on for our Thursday show live stream of the first round of the 2025 NFL draft. Love this time of year, especially draft night. It's fantastic. Live streaming it for now our 6th NFL season this fall. So yeah, super excited to do that. But we got other stuff to talk about in the meantime. Let's roll on to UFL Week 4. Panthers going to 3-1, drubbing the Showboats on Friday night, 27-9. Bryce Perkins was really good, 68.2%, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, 7 carries, 45 yards, and a 1-point conversion. The Showboats just cannot get anything going on offense. Jim Turner's first game as head coach, as the long-term head coach for the rest of the season after he was the head coach of the first game as well. But yeah, they did not do well on offense again. Troy Williams got the start, was not good, 50%, 13 yards. EJ Perry was better, 50%, 74 yards, did throw a pick, 9 carries, 30 yards. But man, this Memphis team it was a struggle all day, and they can't run the ball. Deneric Prince, they're the second leading rusher on the team. Perry led the Showboats in rushing, but Prince there just 3.4 yards per carry as the second leading rusher, the first non-quarterback. It's a tough time for Memphis right now, trying to get this thing going. EJ Perry's a decent quarterback. I'm not sure why. He led the Panthers to the playoffs last year, I believe it was. Just could not get anything going so far this year with Memphis. Nate McCrary led the game in rushing, 60 yards on 11 carries, touchdown, 5-yard reception, and a 1-point conversion. Toatawa also scoring a touchdown for Michigan. Jalen Moore led the game in receiving for the Panthers, 3 catches, 39 yards, and a touchdown on his 5 targets. Jalen Weidermeyer also scoring a touchdown, the tight end for the Panthers. Defensively, I'm going to go with the bottom guy there, Arnold Tarpley, the safety for the Panthers, 4 tackles, 3 solos, 1 tackle for loss, 1 pick, and a pass defense. Panthers minus 6.5 covered, under 37.5 by 1.5. I was very close on that one. Saturday, doubleheader. Starting off with a great game. Renegades beating up on the Battlehawks 30-15, back-to-back losses for St. Louis's squad. And a big part of this one was the Manny Wilkins injury. Looked very bad, went down, non-contact injury, essentially moving up in the pocket. You're always scared about the Achilles when that occurs. Fumbled the ball. Chris Odom recovered it and ran it in for a touchdown. 2 touchdowns defensively for Arlington on the day. Jenna Harris also sealing the game with a 102-yard pick 6 there as well. My 2 defense players of the game there. But Luis Perez was fantastic, 68%, 149, touchdown, a pick, 3 2-point conversions. Arlington was fantastic on 2-pointers in this one. Max Duggan got the majority of the game here, and he struggled, 47.1%, 78 yards, 2 picks, 10 carries, 42 yards. The former Heisman runner-up, as they mentioned about 1 million times during the game. First pro experience, really. 7th-round pick of the Chargers a couple years ago, but not really playing a ton, except from the preseason maybe, but other than that, not really getting any, never started a game in pro football. So, it was a tough game for him. He did well running the ball, 4.2 yards per carry there, but gotta get the throwing down for Max if St. Louis wants to go anywhere with him at the helm. And in terms of what they have, what else they have, they do have Trey Self, who they just signed because their other quarterback, Chevin Cordero, he is on IR. So Trey Self, out undrafted in 2022 out of Stephen F. Austin, an electric college career, but again, no starting experience in pro football. So very inexperienced quarterback room there for the Battlehawks. Jacob Sailors, he led the game in rushing for St. Louis, 61 yards on 20 carries. Not a good average, just 3 yards per carry, 16-yard reception as well. Dede Hunter got in the end zone for Arlington. Leading the game in receiving, Arlington tight end Sal Cannella, 3 catches, 35 yards on 4 targets. Touchdown and a 2-pointer by Javonte Payton, who just had 1 catch for 2 yards on his 2 targets. And defensively, it's the 2 touchdown guys. Like I said, corner Ajene Harris, 8 tackles, 7 solos, tackle for loss, 2 pass defense, and a 102-yard pick 6. And defensive end Chris Odom, 4 tackles, 3 solos, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, fumble recovery that he took 39 yards to the house for the first score of the game. Renegades plus 1.5 went outright, over 38.5. The Stallions get to 3-1, 23-16 over the Roughnecks. And Houston and Birmingham both changing quarterbacks in this one because of injury. Nolan Henderson got absolutely demolished by Chappelle Russell for the Stallions there. A linebacker was seen in a sling on the sideline, his right arm in a sling, throwing shoulder there. Henderson, 3 of 4, 75%, 35 yards there. Jalen McClendon, though, the former Vegas Vipers starter in the XFL, came in, and I mentioned his name when talking about Houston, the Houston quarterback situation a couple weeks ago with James Larson on Pro Football Newsroom. Yeah, I mean, he's an experienced guy, has played some games, has a really lively arm. You saw it in this game. Kept Houston in this game when he came in. 71% for McClendon, 236, a pick, 5 carries, 17 yards, and a rushing touchdown. Matt Corral got most of the game here, 56%, 195, 2 touchdowns, a pick, 10 carries, 52 yards, and a 2-point conversion. He got hurt near the end of the game. Case Cookus, the former Philadelphia Stars USFL veteran, led the USFL Philadelphia Stars to the USFL championship game in 2023 against the Birmingham Stallions, and signed with them this offseason. Just 1 of 2, 50%, 36 yards, but the 36-yarder essentially got Birmingham in field goal range to kick what ended up being the game-winning field goal, or made it a 7-point game that McClendon was ultimately not able to overcome there. The Roughneck, or my bad, I forgot the rest of the stats here. CJ Marable, he led the non-quarterbacks in rushing for Birmingham, 11 carries, 47 yards, 2 catches for 3 yards. Touchdown by Houston running back Zaquandre White, former Stallion there. Deion Kane, the wide receiver for Birmingham, led the game in receiving, 3 catches, 69 yards, and touchdown on 4 targets. Did have a fumble on the kickoff return as well. Davion Davis, another wide receiver for Birmingham, he caught a touchdown on his 4 targets and a 2-point conversion. Defensively, there was not a ton of stats. I'm going to go with Houston corner Armani Marsh, though. 2 tackles, 1 solo, 1 forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. The Roughnecks plus 8.5 covered, over 36.5. And yesterday, the last undefeated team went down. The Brahmas shocking the DC Defenders in DC 24-18. Jordan Ta'amu continues to lead the league in passing, 61.3%, 299, a touchdown, 10 carries, 74 yards, and a rushing touchdown. Really solid game once again for Ta'amu, even in the loss. Kellen Mond, again, has improved every single game, 70%, 121, a touchdown. They really should be 2-2. He played well enough against Michigan last week to get the win. We're not able to tie it up there at the end with destroying, kicking the game-tying field goal attempt. But, yeah, San Antonio under Peyton, new head coach Peyton Party, interim head coach Peyton Party, looking good so far. Anthony McFarland, he led the game in rushing for San Antonio, 55 yards on 14 carries. Led the non-quarterbacks, I should say. 3 catches for 14 yards. DC struggled to run the ball without Ta'amu. Abram Smith, they're just 40 yards, 13 carries, 3.1 yards per. Aiden Robbins, how about instant impact there? 2 touchdowns. Only got 4 carries for 13 yards, but the 2 touchdowns, big time there. DC wide receiver Braylon Sanders led the game in receiving, caught 3 of his 6 targets for 87 yards. 10 target day for his teammate, wide receiver Chris Rowland, 7 for 61 on hit for him. And tight end Briley Moore McKinney caught a touchdown on one of his 2 targets, 39-yard score there. Touchdown from Kellen Mond went to wide receiver Greg Ward. Defensively, again, not a ton of stats. I'm going to go with San Antonio defense tackle Rashard Lawrence, though. 3 tackles, all of them solos, 3 tackles for loss. Brahmas plus 7.5 went outright, over 38.5. I had the under. No breaking news, really. We're going to get in transfer portal here for college football news. UMass running back CJ Hester, he has committed to Michigan. Really solid game against Georgia. I got to witness him firsthand last year watching that game. Syracuse wide receiver Trevor Pena, he is visiting Penn State. That would be a massive win for James Franklin. Needed to upgrade the wide receiver room this offseason. Did it a little bit, but Trevor Pena would be a fantastic addition there for Penn State if they can get him signed. Memphis running back Rashad Amos, former Miami, Ohio running back, great career there. Going from Miami, Ohio to Memphis in the spring or in the fall, and now to Georgia State, committed there. So he is a Panther now. Minnesota quarterback Zach Pyron, another one of those guys going to multiple schools in the offseason here. He has committed to South Alabama after Gio Lopez left. Georgia quarterback Jaden Rashada, he is visiting North Carolina. UNC doing their due diligence, the quarterback transfer market. And Georgia wide receiver Michael Jackson, he has committed to Purdue, another one of those guys. USC to Georgia in the fall, and then Purdue in the spring. Colorado running back Isaiah Augustave. He has committed to Virginia, the Buffaloes' leading rusher last year. Tennessee quarterback Nico Iamaleava, he has committed to UCLA. Goes back home to California, and he is the Bruins' new starting quarterback there. And interestingly enough, just today, about 30 minutes ago, I want to say, UCLA quarterback Joey Aguilar has committed to Tennessee. So essentially a trade. Nico for Joey there. Aguilar transferring to UCLA from App State, and now back to the East Coast with Tennessee here. He will be the Vols starting quarterback, I have to believe. Experienced guy there. Notre Dame quarterback Steve Angeli, he is visiting Syracuse. North Dakota State running back Shamar Brown, he is set up with Miami and Cal. And Washington wide receiver Jonte Cook, he is visiting Syracuse. UFL news, a couple injuries to note. Panthers linebacker Javin White, he has a fractured forearm. He is out multiple weeks, or a few weeks, I should say. Brahmas kicker Donald De La Haye, a.k.a. Destroying, he is out multiple weeks with a groin injury. Cannot catch a break last year. Fractured his back week 1. Did not get to make a field goal attempt, and now just a couple games into this year, groin injury is out multiple weeks. NFL news, a couple draft notes. Steelers, Jets, Broncos, they all met with North Dakota State quarterback Cam Miller. So an intriguing day 3 option, I have to think. Don't think he's going to push up into day 2, but day 3 option nonetheless. Cam Miller, experienced quarterback out of NDSU. Arizona State running back Cam Scadaboo, he visited with the Lions and the Titans, part of his couple last visits, as well as a bunch of other teams. Falcons, they are attempting to trade quarterback Kirk Cousins. However, they are asking teams to take on 20 of the $37.5 million left in guarantees on his contract. So no team so far has been willing to do that. Obviously, the more a team takes on, the less draft compensation that the Falcons will get back. But I think it's worth noting there just to see if Kirk does get dealt during the draft or whatnot. He should go to somewhere, you know, that eventually wants it. He has a no trade clause as well, so he can pick essentially where he wants to go. The Steelers and the Vikings apparently are the two teams that have been willing to pay about up to 10 million. So we will see if anything transpires up to and including draft weekend. Fifth year options. So the deadline is coming for the 2022 class. I believe it is, to get their fifth year options renewed or exercised or not. So the Jets, the first team to really be doing that. Corner Sauce Gardner, 20.1 million. Wide receiver Garrett Wilson, 16.8 million. And I thought it was kind of a surprise. Defensive end Jermaine Johnson, 13.4 million, all exercised on their deals. So a lot of money going into those three players. First round picks there. An extension went down today with the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles signed center Cam Jurgens to a 4-year, $68 million extension, $39.4 million guaranteed there. Love this deal. And Howie Roseman wins again. I mean, he is a consummate professional, just continues to get guys signed early. He didn't sign Jurgens to top of the market. He's number 2 in terms of center pay per year, $17 million per season. But it's just a fantastic signing, and they have their line essentially locked up. The 4 returning starters all locked up long term. And it's just wild that they went from Jason Kelce, the consistency, to Cam Jurgens' consistency. So, one re-signing. Talk about Texans. They re-signed tight end Irv Smith Jr. to a 1-year deal, and the Falcons today signed Chargers quarterback Easton Stick. Assuming that's a 1-year deal as well. So some depth there behind Michael Penix. All right, that is all the news I have. So let's go to our final team mock draft here. Titans and the Browns. Titans with the number 1 overall pick, number 1 and 35. They lost their 3rd round pick to the Chiefs in the L'Jarius Sneed trade. The Browns, number 2, 33, 67, and 94 comes in from the Bills in the Amari Cooper trade. So, got it set up here. Titans, Browns. Let's roll it here. And we are on the clock first. What crazy offers are we going to get? The Steelers want to come up for Cam Ward, as do the Giants. That is an amazing offer, and I would love to accept that in reality. But, I mean, you're getting 2 picks back, and you're getting a second next year, a second this year, and 2 thirds. That's pretty solid to move 2 picks. However, we are not doing that. We have to get, and new GM Mike Borgonzi has to get the QB of the future for Coach Callahan. And that has to be Miami quarterback Cam Ward. It just has not worked with Will Levis as a 2nd-round pick. Obviously, they traded Malik Willis last season as well to the Packers. They did sign Tim Boyle and Brandon Allen to be veteran backups and mentors this offseason. So that's a solid foundation as a QB room. But we have to go with the number 1 by far quarterback in this draft, and that's Cam Ward. We are on the clock with Cleveland, and I'm surprised, very shocked. No one wants to trade into 2. Well, I forgot to say my needs for the Titans, so I'll just say them right now. My needs for Tennessee here QB number 1. So we got that out of the way. Edge rush for Tennessee. Why do I say edge rush? They lost Harold Landry. They let him go in the offseason. They really don't have a ton of edge rush left. Arden Key is probably their best one. They did sign Draymond Jones in the offseason from the Seahawks. They have Jalen Harrell, who's going into year 2 as 7th rounder last year out of Michigan. They have Lorenzo Carter, who I thought was a pretty solid signing in the offseason this year as well. Ali Gay, Khalid Duke, Kyron Johnson. But they don't have any elite pass rusher truly there. So they need to get an elite pass rusher at the edge position. Wide receiver outside of Calvin Ridley is not very good. Obviously, 2022 first rounder Traylon Burks is not very, has been a bust. Van Jefferson's a solid 3, but they need a better number 2 or 1 even. Put Calvin Ridley as 2. James Prochet is more of a special teamer, and they have nothing else really. Jaquan Jackson, 24 6th rounder going into year 2 there. Interior D line is my next one. Tavondre Sweat was fantastic as a 2nd rounder last year. They have Sebastian Joseph Day. Jeffrey Simmons is awesome. But they have no depth. They have literally nothing. Keandre Coburn is probably their best depth. They need more depth and to look toward the future. Sebastian Joseph Day is not the spryest plant in the garden there. Safety. Amani Hooker is pretty good. Xavier Woods they got from Carolina. He's all right. But again, they have no depth. Absolutely none. So safety's a need. Offensive tackle. They signed Dan Moore. I have no clue why they did that. Oli Udo they signed as well. J.C. Latham's a stud going into year 2. They have Jalen Duncan, 23 6th rounder. I have no confidence in Dan Moore. Watching him as the Pittsburgh Steeler. They also have Blake Hance who can slide off the tackle if needed. I just don't see it in Dan Moore. So I like them to get a tackle as well this draft. And then tight end. I love my boy Chika Okonkwo from Maryland, 22 4th rounder. Josh Wiley, a 23 5th rounder out of Cincinnati. For 1, they need more depth. They need a 3rd tight end. But for 2, they need a better playmaker at the position as well. Give Cam Ward something to throw to in the middle of the field. So that's what I have for Tennessee. I know we're on Cleveland's pick now. Cleveland, number 1, wide receiver for me. This wide receiver core is not – it's a bunch of guys. It's not there's nothing elite about it. Jerry Jeudy is good. He was not very good in Cleveland last year, but he has been very solid in Denver. Michael Woods, the 22 6th rounder, hasn't worked out. Cedric Tillman, they've been waiting. 23 3rd rounder, had some quality games last year, but Jamari Thrash is a 5th rounder last year. Didn't really get a lot of run, but I'm excited for him, actually. I liked him coming into the draft last year. David Bell, 22 3rd rounder. Again, kind of like Tillman, it hasn't really, come to fruition yet. And DeAndre Carter's more of a special teamer. So wide receiver is my number 1 for Cleveland. Running back, number 2. They did not re-sign Nick Chubb. Jerome Ford's 22 5th rounder. He's had some games. Pierce Strong is okay. Loved him at South Dakota State, but he hasn't been great in the league. They need a 3rd running back for 1, and I think they need someone to be a full-time starter there. So look out for that. Safety. Ronnie Hickman is pretty good. Grant Delpit's solid, 22nd rounder. They have no depth, though. Need a 3rd safety at the very worst. Potentially an upgrade over Hickman as well. Corner, yeah, it's kind of the same thing. Denzel Ward's a stud. As a 2018 first-round pick, Greg Newsome has been good in the nickel role, 2021 first-rounder. Martin Emerson has been really good as a 22 third-rounder as well at corner. But there is absolutely nothing behind him. Miles Harden, I do like him, 7th rounder out of South Dakota last year. Going into year 2, I do like him. But, again, we need at least 1, maybe 2 guys at the corner position. They do have Cam Mitchell, 23 5th rounder as well. Haven't really seen him work out so far. But yeah, corner, tackle, offensive tackle. DeJuan Jones, 23 fourth rounder, has been so. They did sign Cornelius Lucas to be their swing guy. They have Julian Pearl, who I thought was a pretty solid player out of Illinois. Um, and Jack Conklin. Jack Conklin, the issue is injuries, and he's getting older at right tackle there. Yeah, 30 years old. He's going to turn 31 in August. So, got to start thinking about the future at tackle and potentially both tackles if DeJuan Jones is not going to work out there at left. They do have Tevin Jenkins, who they signed as well, who has played tackle before also. And then finally for Cleveland, it's quarterback. Of course, it's quarterback. Deshaun Watson, we don't know. He probably won't play this year after re-rupturing his Achilles. So it's Kenny Pickett. It's Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco, the starter right now, per our lads. But obviously, a long way to go. They need a guy. They need a guy for the future. They trade all that draft capital for Deshaun Watson. It didn't work out. They need someone for the fan base to look toward for the future. And maybe that's not their first pick. Maybe it's their second pick because I don't think it should be their first pick as well. Cam Ward's the number one quarterback for a lot of people. And for this to work out, it has to make Travis Hunter a wide receiver first and a corner second. They need both per me. So I think it's okay to get here. Travis Hunter, probably the number one player on most people's board. Abdul Carter, close. Flip flop, you can do whatever you want there. But I think Travis Hunter, best of both worlds here for Cleveland at wide receiver and corner, and they need both. The Giants go Abdul Carter. The Patriots going Tetro McMillan. Armand Membu to the Jags. Ashton Genty to the Raiders. Will Campbell for the Jets. Tyler Warren to the Panthers. Okay. Mason Graham to the Saints. Getting a little wonky here. Kelvin Banks to the Bears. 49ers going Will Johnson. Shamar Stewart to the Cowboys. And this is probably a little crazy. It's probably a little too crazy. But I'm going to do it anyways because I don't know who's going to come up for Shedeur Sanders. He has gotten all the way to 13, and I know we have to move up 20 selections. However, I am perfectly okay with doing that for your quarterback of the future. And we have an extra third rounder. So to give up our second round pick this year, our second round pick next year, and our extra third we got in the Cooper trade. I don't know if this will be enough. It probably will not be, but we're going to try it anyways just to see. And yeah, I figured it would not be enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to bite the bullet. And I just want to get our guy. I want to get our guy. And that means coming up all those selections. If we can get a first round pick and a third round pick. All right, let's try a first and 67 here. Because I want to come up. It's a long way up. I understand. Okay, we're just going to have to wait then. We're going to have to wait to see Jalen Walker to the Dolphins. Colts going Shedeur Sanders. That is very wild. Janae Barron to the Falcons. Okay. Matthew Golden to the Cardinals. Mike Green to the Bengals. Colston Loveland to the Seahawks. Michael Williams to the Bucks. Tyler Booker to the Broncos. Malachi Starks to the Steelers. Derek Harmon For the Chargers, Jahad Campbell to the Packers. Nick Scorton to the Vikings. Texans going Josh Simmons. Nicky Manwari to the Rams. All right, let's try to trade up with our division rival here. We're only going up 5 spots. So 5 spots gives you a 3rd round pick. All right, well, let's try to give them 67 then. See if they'll take 67. They're division rivals. They don't want to give up anything, which I understand. All right, we got up to 60. We got up to 27. So what are we doing here? We are taking Jackson Dart. I really like Jackson Dart and Tyler Schuff. I think it's a very solid pick here. Getting the 5th-year option as well. I didn't want to wait till I just didn't want to wait. I wanted to go get my guy, and I know he probably would have been there at 33, maybe. I don't know, but I wanted to go get our guy, and that guy is Jackson Dart. Gives you an option for the future. James Pierce to the Lions. Gray Zabel to the Commanders. Trey Amos to the Bills. Chiefs going Donovan Ezrawaku. Eagles going Travion Henderson. That's weird. Donovan Jackson for the Ravens. Giants going Siobhan Ravel. And we are on with the Titans here. Titans, I don't like either of those trades really. So, for Tennessee here, we got our quarterback, and now my next need is edge. So unfortunately, Ezrawaku went. We don't really have any. Landon Jackson's there. Let's see what else we got though. Wide receiver. Oh my goodness, Emeka Egbuka is right there. I absolutely love Emeka Egbuka. Apparently, a lot of other people do too. Very underrated player at Ohio State. Ohio State receiver. Status is awesome as well. So, yeah, love Emeka Egbuka. I think he could be a solid option here for Cam Ward in this Tennessee offense. So, give me Emeka Egbuka to the Tennessee Titans. Now we are waiting all the way to 94 for Cleveland. Mason Taylor to the Jags. Tyleik Williams to the Raiders. Josh Connerly to the Patriots. Quinshon Judkins to the Bears. Luther Burden for the Saints. Bears going Xavier Watts. Maxwell Hairston for the Jets. Carson Schwessinger for the 49ers. Ben Morrison to the Cowboys. Princely Uman-Mielen to the Colts. Falcons going Walter Nolan. JT Tuimoloau out to the Cardinals. Ariante Ursary to the Dolphins. Jonas Avainea to the Bengals. Jalen Milroe, Steelers coming up 83, a 2nd and a 5th next year. Marion Hampton to the Broncos. Landon Jackson pack up 54 and a 4th next year from Seattle, or to Seattle, I should say. They get Wyatt Millam. Bills came up for Kenneth Grant, 56 and 177. Azariah Thomas, the Chargers. Bucks going Kevin Winston Jr. Jaden Higgins to the Panthers. Love it. Trey Harris to the Texans. Barrett Carter to the Ravens. Lions going Darian Porter. Kyle Williams for the Commanders. Jalen Royals for the Bills. Emory Jones for the Chiefs. Eagles going Tate Ratledge. Love that. Go Dogs. Cam Williams for the Giants. Chiefs going Jalen Noel. Ravens going Braden Swinson. Raiders draft Andrew McCuba. Jared Wilson goes to the Patriots. That's a great pick. Darius Alexander for the Jags. Caleb Johnson to the Saints. Bears going Femiola Dejo. Tez Johnson for the Jets. Panthers going Jordan Birch. Jack Besh goes to San Francisco. Cowboys going DJ Giddens. Ashton Gelati to the Patriots. Cardinals getting Alfred Collins. Lathan Ransom for the Texans. Harold Fannin to the Colts. Alec A.O. Manor for the Bengals. Ozzie Trapilo for the Seahawks. Dorian Strong for the Seahawks. Chris Paul for the Bucks. Jets coming up for TJ Sanders, 110, 145, 162. David Walker for the Chargers. Jacob Parrish for the Packers. Demetrius Knight for the Jags. Denzel Burke for the Texans. Noel Williams for the Rams. Terrence Ferguson goes to the Ravens. Tyler Shuff, great pick for the Seahawks. Miles Frazier for the Saints. And we are back on with Cleveland here. 90, move 4 spots for 6th round. I need a little bit more in the 3rd round. And this is perfect. The number 2 need I have for Cleveland is running back. Cam Scadaboo is my boy. I've been on him most of the draft process here. Loved him at Arizona State last year, especially in the playoff. If we were not going Cam Scadaboo, what else would be in play? Billy Bowman potentially at safety. I like his game a lot. Corner. Do we have any corners? We do not. Zy Alexander is the next one there, so maybe. A tackle. We do have Marcus Bowe. I know John likes him a lot. We do have Charles Grant, second best FCS player this year as well. And yeah, that's it. That's the rest of my needs here. But I love Cam Scadaboo. That's where we're going to go with this pick. Get them a number 1 running back. Shamar Turner for the Chiefs. Eagles get Marcus Bowe. Vikings go Jonas Sanker. Billy Bowman goes to the Dolphins. Gunnar Helm for the Giants. 49ers going Dylan Fairchild. Kyle Kennard to the Rams. Omar Norman Law for the Lions to end it out here. So what do we got here? Start off with the Titans. We stuck and picked at both spots. Cam Ward at number 1, Emeka Egbuka at 35. Pair them together. This offense gets that much better. A lot of work to do, though, on this roster. Like I mentioned, all the needs that they have. Cleveland, we moved around a little bit. Started off 4 picks, ended up with 3. Travis Hunter at number 2 fills the wide receiver and corner needs. Jackson Dart at 27. Get that 5th-year option for the quarterbacks. I was just talking about that the Jets 3 first-rounders in 2022 got. So love the Jackson Dart play there at 27. We probably could have got Tyler Shuff. He ended up going 92, I believe it was, to the Seahawks. But I don't care. I love Jackson Dart and Tyler Shuff. So I like it in the 5th year, the extra year there with Jackson Dart and at 27. And Cam Scadaboo at 94. I know we had to pay a pretty penny for that one, 33 and 67 there to get up 5 spots for the Ravens. But Cam Scadaboo at 94. Love that. Get an RB1 there to pair with Jerome Ford and Pierre Strong in Cleveland. So I think I like the Browns draft a lot more, but the Titans, though, pretty solid as well. I will not hesitate on their draft at all. And that is the show for today. Not seeing anything else on the X feed there. So that's the show for today. Next week, UFL Week 6. We'll get you all your game recaps from UFL Week 5. And of course, we will have your 2025 NFL Draft recap show on Monday as well. Don't forget, we have a litany of shows this week. Starting off on Wednesday night, Wednesday normal time, 7:30 Eastern. We will be back on. We will be doing our one and only complete first round mock draft with John and Jimmy. They will be on to do it with me. And that way we'll have a consensus 2 wins against 1 every pick. So make sure you catch that on Wednesday night. And on Thursday, we'll be on the entire first round, starting at 7:30 Eastern as well. It's a great time. Just talking ball with the boys on the podcast. So And then we'll have our normal show on Saturday morning. Just work constraints on Friday. Can't do it. So we'll have our normal Friday show on Saturday morning. We will recap the UFL game on Friday night, as well as rounds 1 and 2 and 3 on Friday from Thursday and Friday. And then we'll get you set for draft day 3, rounds 4 through 7, and who we think the best value picks are left on the board. Don't forget to follow us on all social media at FAA Podcast on Instagram and X, FAA_bets on X as well. FAApodcast.com is our website. Check us out here on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and TikTok at FAA.podcast. And we will see y'all back on Wednesday.